Today's special guest is Liz and Elizabeth from Simple Simon, and they're here to show us how to make a knit skirt in 20 minutes. So welcome, ladies.
Hey, thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here today.
And I am thrilled to learn how to make a skirt in 20 minutes with knits. So tell us how you do that.
We love these skirts. They're so fun to make. We make them for our little girls. We make them for ourselves. They're great for any sizes, and you don't need a pattern. So I'll show you how to just take 3 simple measurements and make one of these skirts.
And they are just so adorable. So tell me how we get started.
So we just need a few simple tools to get started. We'll need some fantastic knit, and you have so many choices, so you can make so many skirts.
Yes, we love that.
And then some 2-inch elastic is what we're going to put them together with. And then just some basic sewing tools, so some scissors, a tape measure, a rotary mat, a ruler, and a cutter. And we're ready to go.
And
our serger.
we're going to need our serger.
And we have our baby lock serger, which we just love and just sews beautifully. So we're excited to use that today. So tell me how we do the measurements.
Super easy. We're just going to take 3 measurements. We're going to do a waist, a hip, and a waist to knee. Now the first thing we're going to do is find our waist. Now your waist isn't normally where a lot of people think it is because our pants are low riders. Mm-hmm. So we're going to take like a true waist measurement. So easy way to find that is put your hands on your hips, and it's where you bend is where you're going to find where your true waist
Very
is.
good.
So that little crevice that it makes when you bend, that's where your waist is. So,
and today you're going to make a skirt for me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we're going to do my measurements. We're not going to share what they are, but we will take them
Yes.
and write them down.
Yes. Now normally if we were doing this off camera, we would have you in your skivvies.
Okay.
But for today,
Down to bare skin is preference, right?
or in like the undergarments that you
Yeah.
would wear, and that's what we would normally do. But today we'll let you keep your shirt on. And
My clothes on. That's good.
Yeah. So we're going to measure around. Now when Elizabeth and I take measurements, we usually measure each other, or we'll have like our husband help, or a daughter help, because it's good to have a friend to make sure that your measuring tape is level all the way around here. So when we take a measurement, we're going to take
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to make it snug. We're not going to make it too tight, but you want to make sure it's kind of snug. So you
Okay.
can just kind of, slide your finger in behind.
All right.
So we take our waist measurement, and we write it down on our piece of paper. Then the next thing we're going to do is take our hip measurement.
Okay.
And for what we're going to do today is our hip measurement is going to be like the widest area of our body
All right.
from our waist to our knees.
Okay.
So my widest area is right around here. But
it's different for everybody.
it is different for everyone. So you're going to find your widest point. It might be, down in your thighs. You're just going to look to see where your widest area
I'm
is.
thinking about right here. Does that look about
A
right?
good point of reference if you're looking for one is on a typical person, it's between 7 to 9 inches down from your waist. So if you need a reference point, start with there and
Okay.
then go from that measurement.
Or you can ask your girlfriend. Where am I the
Exactly.
widest?
I've always been looking in the mirror. Where is that
My
point
husband,
exactly?
that's a dangerous question.
Yes.
My husband.
You're not
Sorry,
the widest
adjustment.
anywhere.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to invade your personal space. And Elizabeth and I are used to invading each other's personal spaces quite a bit.
The more accurate you are measuring, the better skirt fit you're going to get. So get that pretty tight.
You're skinny.
Hey, I'm going to have you back.
All right, so we're going to record that measurement. And then we're going to measure from waist to our knee.
Okay.
Because that's the length of the
How long you want the skirt?
skirt to
So
be.
if you're going for mini, you can go shorter. If you want down to your knee, yeah. Or a maxi
cute
skirt
midi
all the way
length.
down.
A midi. It might be a little hard to walk because this one all the way is a maxi.
This is
but a midi.
This is kind of
A
a
fitted
tight
skirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, so we're going to measure. If you'll find your waist for me. I'll show
Okay,
what that
right
is.
there.
And we'll just go from waist down to knee. Where is your knee? There we go.
Right there.
Oh, wow, okay. Okay, so we're going to do right there. Okay. We've got that.
Perfect. You got my measurements.
And we're ready to start cutting.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing that we need you to cut is let's cut our waistband first.
All right.
And you're going to cut it about an inch shorter than your waist measurement.
Really?
Because we want that
To
elastic to stretch.
But
and
only
give
an
some give.
inch.
And only an inch. If
Okay.
you have super stretchy elastic, you might want to go a little bit more than that. But this is great quality elastic. It's gonna give some give, but you can't pull
But
it
you
4
don't
or
want
5
it too
inches.
tight so it's squeezing you.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. You want it just to be comfortable.
All right, so we'll get our measurement out. So after we've cut our waistband, what's the next step?
We're going to cut our fabric, and it's going to be really easy. We're just going to use our measurements that we just took.
Okay, so we pull this out. What's the first thing we cut on this?
The first thing we're going to do is our length.
All right.
So you're going to take your waist to knee measurement,
Okay,
and you're going to minus 2 inches.
and that's running the length of the fabric.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly.
So we want, do you fold it over when you cut in half?
I
Or
do sometimes just to keep it on the mat, but kind of depends on how long.
It's your personal
All right.
preference.
So we're cutting, get this
Yeah.
all together. We're just gonna make sure this is all lined up. Okay, I'm getting there.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so this is the length. We're just making sure this all lines up. And since mine was 24 inches, the length I wanted, do you cut it right on 24?
You're going to cut it 22. We're going to minus 2 inches.
Ah, for the waistband.
Yes,
Okay, very
yes.
good. Good reminder.
So
So we want that length. So let me make sure this all lines up. Just off ever so slightly, but we'll smooth everything out. And 22 is our
Yep.
magic number. Okay, so there's our length.
Okay, so now that you have your length, we're going to cut our width of our skirt.
All right.
And
You
we
do it on
did
the
our
fold,
waistband.
right?
I like to cut on the fold. You just have one seam and it's a really fast skirt. You can have 2 seams if you want down the sides, but let's do it the fast way today.
And that's going to only take us 20 minutes, right? So
Exactly.
we're going to make it quick.
So
Okay.
you're going to take your hip measurement that you
Okay.
had and you're going to cut it exactly to that. But since we're on the fold, we're going to
Exactly.
do half
Oh,
of our
that's
hip
right.
because we'll have, when we open it up, it will be the full skirt.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So half of that
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little math problem. It's the only time you have to do math.
divided by 2, and you've got your measurement, and there is the.
And we have our skirt cut to our waist, but we have our waistband cut to our, we have our skirt cut to our hips and our waistband cut to our waist.
Okay.
So we're going to show you how to make those match and how we're going to stretch that elastic to fit your hip measurement. Okay, so we're just going to take our fabric since we have it on the fold. We're going to put it right sides together. And if you've never used a serger, this is actually a great beginning project to use on a serger. You just need to remember a couple of things. With a serger, we're not going to use pins. And if we are, we're going to keep them way back because our serger has a blade that's actually going to cut and put all of our seams inside. So I just don't use pins. Just hold it together as you go. And then we're going to stick it under our presser foot a little bit. And if you'll see, the blade is going to just cut off a little tiny bit of our knit. I'm not cutting off a whole lot because we already cut it right to our measurement.
It
and
just
then
gives
we'll
you
just
a
keep
great edge, doesn't it?
Sergers are perfect with knits. I steal the scissors. And another thing on sergers, you want it to give it a long tail and then cut it off. You never want to cut it right up here. It sometimes can unthread. So here we are with our serged edge. See how
That's
everything's
great.
encased? And it still gives a little bit of a stretch because we've done it on the serger, which is perfect with knits. We're going to do the exact same thing with our waistband. So we'll bring it over here to our serger. And we're just going to serge that waistband together in a circle. Again, I'm just going to pull it out and clip on both sides. And now we've got our circle for our waistband and our circle for our skirt that was our hip measurement. So we'll show you how to combine them and put them together.
So let me grab you some pins.
Right now,
Show us how you do that.
you can see that they're different sizes. And the reason we did this is with knits, we also didn't give ourselves any extra ease. Knits stretch, and so we wanted to have a skirt that kind of hugs your hips and then hangs straight, then cinches back in up here at your waist.
Just a nice little pencil skirt.
Yes, but as you can see, they're different lengths, and so we're going to have to show you right now how we put those together. So actually, Elizabeth, I'm going to let you go to town with the pins.
So the first thing that we're going to do is find exactly opposite from our serging point. We're going to stick a pin in that. I kind of think of this as we're putting this in quadrants. We're going to do the exact same thing with our waistband. Actually, I'm going to flip this right side out for a second because we're going to eventually pin right side of waistband to right side of skirt. So we'll put a pin right there, and then we're actually going to find 2 more points for our halfway points. So Cindy, can I get you to put 2 pins, 1 on each side of there? So we've kind of got 4 quadrants where we're going to match up our waistband and match up our skirt.
Just to make sure it's all evenly distributed, your elastic.
Exactly. So we've got that with and our 4th point is just going to be right there. And then we'll do the same thing. So I'll just pull this over here. And then Cindy will have you put 2 pins in that side to even that up.
Open it up.
Exactly. And then all we're going to do is slip our waistband inside of our skirt. You're
Right
always
sides
sewing
together.
right sides to right sides.
Now, do you
Actually,
want to
let's
do that
do your
selvage?
let's do your seam right over there. So we've got both of our seams together. And then all we're going to do is match up our pins exactly where we had them before.
This is such an easy way to make this match and be perfect.
And you can do the same thing. If you don't have this 2-inch elastic at home, you could just cut more of your fabric, more of your knit to make like a yoga style waistband. This same principle will work with that as well. So we're just cutting that to a waist measurement, and this is cut to our hip. So if you'll notice, there are some gaps right here. And when we get over to the serger, we're actually going to pull our elastic so it matches. And I'm going to be really careful not to run over these pins when I'm serging, but I'm going to keep these in until I get to them so I know that I have these evenly distributed all the way around.
And so sometimes knits have a tendency to just curl a little bit, so as you're going along, you're just adjusting before it goes under the foot.
Exactly. And the other thing that I'm doing is I don't want to cut my elastic. So you could either put your blade down on your serger, or I pretty much know where my blade is, so I just keep that elastic. We don't want to trim any of that off.
Great tip.
We'll compromise it. So we'll go back over to the serger. So we bring our fabric over. I'm going to put it under our serger, and then I'm just going to go to the edge so it's serging on, but it's not cutting off any part of my skirt. And then I'm using my right hand to pull as I go through. And I've got to my first pin. I'm going to stay clear of that, move it back, and then I'm just going to keep pulling my elastic so that it's matching up with my skirt fabric. And I'm doing exactly what Cindy was talking about and making sure that that knit doesn't curl. Pulling with my right hand so I'm matching up those pins. And then I just carefully go around the whole skirt. Keep adjusting it as you go. I think this is the most time-consuming part. Keep pulling, stretching it so I'm going to that pin. Just hold it with my right hand. Moving it around with my left. Almost back there. I have one more quadrant to go.
Almost back to the beginning. So as you can see, she's not speeding through. She's taking her time and making sure that the fabric isn't curled and that it's stretched perfectly as she goes all the way around.
So I'm almost around to the beginning again. Just want to make sure like that. And then again, I'm just going to serge a tail. Cut it right there. We're almost done.
Wow, look at that.
As she turns it inside out, you can see that where she's pulled the knit to fit the elastic, it makes it just a little tiny bit gathered right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just cinch it right in at your waist and then come down and be snug on your hips.
And we can give that a little bit of a steam press, and that can sometimes pull it out, but you can see where it is in there.
Great, nice and professional, having those edges all serged. So how do we finish the bottom?
So for finishing the bottom, what we do is just go around. I usually just serge it around the bottom, and then I'll take it over to my machine and put a quick hem in it, and you're done.
Okay. So serge the bottom,
So
and let's
serge
finish
the
up.
bottom. And sometimes I even do like a rolled hem. You can do a cover stitch hem. Lots of different ways to finish knits.
And this machine does a beautiful cover stitch if we wanted to do a cover stitch.
I've even done like a really tight serging. I kind of like that. It gives it a little bit of that at the bottom. All right, so we've got the bottom edge of our skirt all serged, and the last step is just going to take this, press it up, and then either switch your machine over to a cover stitch or use a twin needle in your sewing machine.
Cover stitch with it, beautiful.
Hem it up, and you're good to go.
All done.
Wow, that is amazing. You can really make this skirt in under almost 20 minutes, really.
You can.
So thank you, ladies, for joining us. I know you have more fantastic tutorials on your blog. What's your blog?
We are at simplesimonandco.com.
And so many fun things. You're on Riley Blake Design Team, and we just always love your ideas and easy to do projects. So you can make this skirt in 20 minutes and find time to sew every day.